attention, my dear yoga enthusiasts, very dear friends. First of all, a very big thank you to each one of you who has come here on a working day in the morning, braving the traffic to celebrate the 8th International Day of Yoga with us. My heartfelt thanks to each one of you. A big thank you to the Government of Mauritius for its steadfast support to the High Commission of India in promoting yoga in Mauritius. We had a pre-event at the Indian High Commission on the 18th where the Minister of Health and Wellness did yoga with me and my colleagues, and we are now graced with the presence of the Minister of Arts and Cultural Heritage. The biggest thank you is for His Excellency, the President, and Madam Rupun. I think the presence and physical demonstration of yoga along with us, Excellency, on the yoga mats here by the first citizen of Mauritius, the First Lady of Mauritius, is, I think, the biggest gift that Mauritius could have given to us today. From the bottom of my heart, a very big thank you, sir. I know that when you were the Minister of Arts and Cultural Heritage, you were actively involved in the International Day of Yoga. But what I want to begin my few remarks this morning is something that you said at the inauguration of the Global Yoga Conference in India a few days ago. His Excellency President Rupun said, yoga is India's best gift to the world. I couldn't have thought of a better way of starting my remarks on this occasion. I really believe that India's most enduring gift to the world is yoga, because yoga equals happiness. Simply put, yoga equals health, well-being. I think we've all realized today that money and success do not guarantee happiness. They do not guarantee health. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw as many rich people suffer from COVID-19 as poor people did. And the lesson from this pandemic was, it's not how much money you have, how much power you have, how successful you are. It's how much of well-being you have, how much of immunity you have, how much of resilience you have as a human being. And so, ladies and gentlemen, after the COVID-19 pandemic, we in India are seeing many more people across the world embrace yoga. Because people everywhere are realizing that it's not enough to be doing the kind of things that are considered as conventional formulae for success. You need to invest in your own well-being from inside out. How does yoga do this? I think all of us here know that yoga is not just a bunch of stretching exercises. It's much more than that. It's pranayama, that is regulating your breath, your prana, your life force. It's also meditation. It's mindfulness, stilling the mind. So it's a combination of all of this that makes yoga a gateway to inner well-being. What is the end goal of yoga? It is to be physically fit, mentally sharp, emotionally resilient, and spiritually vibrant. And how does yoga do this? The ultimate state of yoga is equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam yoga uchyate. This is what Lord Krishna told Arjuna in the Mahabharata. You can see it in the Bhagavad Gita. Basically it says equanimity is yoga. What it means is, you cannot control life. You cannot control what happens to you, no matter how rich or powerful you are, because the forces of the universe are too large. You cannot control life, but you can control how you respond to life. So in one sentence, yoga teaches us that you cannot master the universe, but you can master yourself. and how you respond to life's challenges. Let's say we miss a bus and we are late for a meeting. Different people will respond differently to this. Some may become anxious, frustrated, angry at the bus driver, angry at the government, angry at yourself, frustrated that you didn't reach 5 minutes earlier. You're in a bad mood the whole day, and you take out that bad mood on your colleagues, on your family members, on yourself. And yet, another person who misses the same bus may deal with it very objectively and say, okay, this is what it is. I missed the bus. Yes, I missed a meeting. What do I do now? How do I deal with it? So that is a very small example of what yoga does to you. Even in bigger challenges in life, you're able to be centered, to not let outside events disturb your peace of mind, your inner bliss. Because you have mastery over yourself no matter what is happening around you. So Samartham Yoga Uchyate. That is the endeavor as we celebrate the International Day of Yoga today. And that should be our endeavor every day, frankly. So imagine a world where all of us have mastery over how we respond to life situations. Wouldn't each one of us be at peace? Wouldn't each one of us be at bliss? Wouldn't each one of us radiate this peace, bliss, and positive vibrations to everybody around us? And wouldn't the world become a happier place? It is precisely for this reason that the United Nations declared 21st June as the International Day of Yoga, so that the world over, yoga is discovered. People learn to be blissful inside themselves. People learn to look for happiness within themselves rather than through money or success or power or addictions or, there have been shopping, many other ways. I'm not saying these are bad, but you cannot depend on them for your state of happiness. You have to take charge of how you feel inside. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, this year, the theme of the International Day of Yoga is Yoga for Humanity. All of humanity needs to discover yoga, especially after COVID-19. But the bigger message there is, yoga literally means union. What yoga does is, when you practice the asanas in a state of mindfulness with breath control, you open up your energy centers, the chakras as we call it. And when you start opening the chakras from your Kundalini chakra up to the Sahasrara chakra, which is the crown chakra, you unite your energies with the energy of the cosmos. Your energy becomes one with the divine. It's like removing the plug from a 10-volt socket and plugging it into a megavolt, 1 million volts and beyond. Imagine the energy you discover. You're never tired. You're never negative. Because if you feel one with the universe, not just human beings, all living beings, all non-living beings, because in Indian philosophy, we believe that there is universal consciousness even in the rock, in the waters of the ocean, even in inanimate objects. So if you feel one with the cosmos through yoga, how could you ever hate anybody? How can there ever be war? How can there ever be conflict? If I see myself in you, in the water, in the sky, in the earth, how would I fight with anybody? So a world that practices yoga is a world of peace, happiness and harmony. A world where diplomats like me are not required. A world where militaries won't be required. That is the world that we want to create through yoga. Make people like me dispensable, because everybody is blissful already within. So this year, my dear friends, we are doing something very unique to celebrate the International Day of Yoga in India. Our Prime Minister has launched the Guardian Ring Initiative, and it's going on as we speak. What is that? 21st June is the longest day in the Northern Hemisphere. The day that is the longest and the night that is the shortest. So today, starting with Brahma Muhurtam, as we call it, at 3 a.m., In India, people are watching yoga being practiced across the world, following the sun. So we start with Japan, where people will be doing yoga in Tokyo, and we move across 75 countries to finish with New Zealand at 10 p.m. in the night. 75 countries because this is also India's 75th year of independence. We are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So 75 countries celebrating yoga with India today. And prime time slot, which is now around 10:30 a.m. in India, is reserved for Mauritius, for us. So we are going to be live on Doordarshan, the Indian national broadcaster, doing yoga in Mauritius, a country which has really made yoga not just popular but also shown its value in promoting peace, happiness, the way I just said right now. And the fact that we are doing it at this iconic venue, Akravasi Ghat, is, I think, a story in itself, a narrative in itself. Yoga was brought to Mauritius by the indentured Indian workers who came many, many, many years ago. And it continues today with His Excellency the President, the First Lady, the Minister joining us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just finish with just one call to all of you. I think we all need to invest in our children becoming healthy and finding happiness within themselves. In India, we've introduced yoga in the Central Board of Secondary Education curriculum. It's an optional subject now for children studying in grade 11 and 12. We have also introduced yoga at the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences to treat psychiatric disorders along with conventional medicine. We are doing many more such things, and my hope is that one day in all the schools of the world, children will learn yoga. Because if you learn at a young age how to nurture your own happiness within you, you will not depend on drugs, you will not depend on video games, you will not get addicted to anything, not even to dysfunctional relationships. Investing in happy children also means investing in their productivity, in their success. Investing, in short, in a happy, peaceful and prosperous world. So my request to His Excellency the President, the Honourable Minister is, can we look at training the physical education teachers in the schools of Mauritius? Maybe we start with the government schools. We have a yoga instructor who has come from India, a fully trained lady who is at our disposal for at least 1 year. Can we make use of her? Can we teach the physical instructors in schools yoga, and through them the children of Mauritius? Can we invest in a better, happier, more successful Mauritius, a more successful world? I leave you with that thought. Happy yoga. And one final word, please don't feel compelled to do the asanas just as the instructor is showing. We all have our own levels of flexibility and ability. Let's be gentle with ourselves. The idea is to enjoy the morning, not to inflict pain or to live up to some impossible standard. That's not the idea. I want you all to enjoy the yoga session that we have that follows. And once again, a very, very big, heartfelt thank you from my side and on behalf of every citizen of India to each one of you for joining us in celebrating the 8th International Day of Yoga. Dhanyavad, merci beaucoup, pranam.